and welcome to Ellen Ruth Soap. It's Ellen back here, and I was getting ready to do a restock of my emulsified sugar scrub, and I figured I'd just turn the camera and bring you all along. So this is kind of last minute, so that's why I have everything is already sanitized and pre-measured and ready to go. So let me tell you what we've got right now. I've shared this recipe before. I'll share it again right now. Today I am doing a harvest-inspired pumpkin-y sugar scrub using this fragrance, Pumpkin Cheesecake from Scented. This smells fabulous, so good. And on the top of each of my little sugar scrubs, after they're already jarred up, I have these really adorable little pumpkin soaps. These are cold processed soap. Each jar is going to get a little mini pumpkin soap inside, just as a little harvest gift. I thought it was really fun, and I have extra embeds. So all that being said, let me tell you what I've got going on here. Right here, I have 50 ounces of organic cane sugar. You can use white sugar, the cheapest sugar you can find. Just make sure it's a nice fine grind, but not a powdered sugar. You want a granule sugar. This is the one I have. So there's 50 ounces of sugar. That's going to set off to the side till the end. And let me tell you what I have in my liquid pot here. I have 20 ounces of liquid oils, and you can do any combination that you like. Research different skin benefits, different emollients, whatever it is that you like. What I have in here is I have organic hempseed oil, I have jojoba oil, olive oil, and a little sunflower oil. I have 4 different oils that make up a 20-ounce volume, so 20 ounces of liquid oils. That's what I've got in here. I also have 1 ounce of Optifen preservative. This one's from Brambleberry. That's already in here. And I have 1.3 ounces of my fragrance. That's already in here. So this is going to also go off to the side until we get our hard ingredients here all melted. And let me tell you what I've got going on here. Also, when this is all said and done, I am going to add a little bit of coloring just to kind of bring up that pumpkin-y essence with it. And I have this, it's a lip safe copper mica. So being lip safe, you know this is safe for your skin also. I'm just going to add a little, not a ton, but I just want to kind of have that, pumpkin notes in there. So I thought this would do me. All right, so for the hard oils and butters, we need to melt down before we add it to the liquid and then add the sugar. What we've got here, let's start with what I've got, the hard butters. You need 5 ounces total of hard butters. You can do kokum butter, you could do any butters you want. These are the 3 that I'm choosing. You could do 1 butter. You could, if all you want is cocoa butter or shea butter. It's up to you. So 5 ounces total. What I have here is 1.5 ounces of shea butter. It's going to go in here. I have 1.5 ounces of cocoa butter, which I like these wafers. They're so easy to measure. So that's 3 ounces now, and I have 2 ounces of mango butter for a total of 5 ounces of butter. And again, you can do any combination or a single butter, just 5 ounces total of a butter. All right, the next thing I have is beeswax. I have these little home rendered beeswax discs that I got. I actually rendered this beeswax myself. It was a lot of work. And I didn't have quite enough, and they're hard to cut. So I have 1 of these, and the rest is in beeswax pastellis that I bought. I need 1.5 ounces of beeswax total. So these are both beeswax. This is store-bought. This is home rendered. They're going in here. Got to melt those down. Make sure I get all of the beeswax in. Okay. And then the other ingredients that we need is an emulsifying wax and stearic acid. So the emulsifying wax is going to make sure all the oils and butters and everything just stay emulsified, quite literally. It's going to bind everything together. The stearic acid is a great thickening agent. These both add to a nice feel to it as you're spreading it on your skin and exfoliating. These give a nice feel. So I need 3.2 ounces of emulsifying wax. And that's what I have here. There are lots of different emulsifying waxes to choose from. There's a soft and silky, there's a regular one. This one is from Soaper's Choice. It is just a straight up vegetable based emulsifying wax. So 3.2. Here's my stearic acid. You need 2 ounces of stearic acid. And these are the tiny little granules. Sometimes it comes in flakes or whatever. It's all the same no matter what it looks like here. So 2 ounces of stearic. There we go. Now, we need to get this all melted down. You can definitely do a double boiler. You can pulse in the microwave. You know, however you want to melt this down, get it melted, not too hot. You don't want to destroy all the butters and everything in there. So I'm going to microwave in pulses. Some people hate the microwave. Please do a double boiler. If that's up your alley, you do that. Let me get this melted and then we will come back and put this together. It's a rather simple project. It's kind of easy. It's super good though. So we'll be back in a minute. All right, everything's ready to go. It's time to assemble. This is the hard oils and butters all melted. And so what I've got here, I've made this several different times, and one time it was very thick, and so I brought down my ice cream scoop to scoop it into the jars if I need to. If it's a little more, I've made this a few times and it was a little more fluid before it cooled off, I put it in a piping bag, and that was a little less messy. The very first video I did, I was scooping it in with spoons. It was just a mess. So between the ice cream scoop, if it's thick, or the piping bag, if it's a little bit thinner, we'll get it in the jars in a little less messy fashion this time. So right now I'm going to go ahead and add my hot melted butters in here with the liquids. We'll get it all stirred up. I'll get my colorant in there, and then we can add the sugar and get to mixing. And it's just as simple as that. It really is not a complicated project. This would be great to do with children because you're not working with lye or caustic materials. Smells so good, and you know what? If you make a batch of this, you can use it in the shower tonight. So it's ready to go as soon as it cools off, and I love that. So we've got that all blended together. I'm going to go ahead and put my mica in here and whisk it around so that I'm sure it's dispersed evenly before I add my sugar. You can add it in last if you want, and I might add a little more, but that way I know that it's going to be really well and mixed. So let me grab a whisk. Okay. Let's see, I'll go ahead and pull this out. We'll do a nice scoop. This is my little baby spoon. That was probably a half a teaspoon is what I'm guessing. And isn't that just a beautiful, beautiful bronzy color? Oh, it's gorgeous. Pardon my phone dinging in the background. I forgot to turn the volume off. All right. Let's get our sugar in here. I just absolutely love how uncomplicated this is, and you get a beautiful product. There we go. And you know, the only tricky part here is to make sure you get all that sugar well and incorporated. You don't want any lumps, and if you work out all your lumps, you're good to go. I will say that the few times that I've done this and it's been kind of loose, you can there's two things you can do. One is be patient and let it start to cool and it will thicken, or you can add a tad more sugar if you want. I've gone all the way up to 54 ounces of sugar, and I've gone as low as 44 ounces of sugar. So there's a little wiggle room there to just, you know, it's a personal preference. Like right now, that is a beautiful consistency. And what you want is for the sugar to remain suspended and not settle out, because you want each of your jars to get, you know, all the sugar and everything in there. So as long as it's not settling out, you are good to go. And this is kind of sloopy, so I think I'm going to forego my ice cream scoop and grab a piping bag for this, because it's loose enough for a piping bag. All right, all set up. I'm just gonna pour some in here, and then I'll clip the tip off of it and just get it into the jars. Oh my golly, I wish you could smell. This is getting me in the mood for harvest time. Love it. All right, got my jars are all ready to go here, and I have my little pumpkins off to the side. There we go. Snip the tip off. Okay. Actually, let me move these over. Because it is so loose, I don't want any to spill. All right. And now it's just a matter of filling these, and I just kind of hold this sideways because it's very loose. But look how nice and neat it is going in here. If you saw my very first sugar scrub video, I made a big old mess. This is so much neater. Gotta leave a little room for my pumpkins. Are all jarred up so the gloves can come off. I did the dishes and now I'm just letting them cool off for a little bit before I put the lids on, and then we'll come back in and label what I ended up here with the recipe I did today, and it'll be written down below, of course. I got 17 jars. These are 4-ounce jars that hold 5 ounce of emulsifying scrub. So I weighed this out. Each one is a little over 5 ounces. So the label will say 5 ounces. This is a 4-ounce jar. Just so you know, it's heavy. The sugar is heavy. So that's how many jars this recipe made. 17 4-ounce jars, which hold 5 ounce of product. Hope that's not too confusing, and everybody got a little pumpkin. I'm just delighted. So I'm going to go print some labels, let these finish cooling, and we'll come back for the final steps. All right, it's time to label my jars. And these labels are from onlinelabels.com. They are 1.5 by 5 inches long. That's the size these are, and they fit a 4-ounce jar really well. These jars are from Amazon. I have gotten them from Wholesale Supplies Plus and Amazon. Uline carries them. It's just a clear plastic 4-ounce jar. You can get them at several different places. But these labels fit them really, really well. And I use Maestro Label Designer to design these labels. So anyway, here they are. So here is my little pro tip. If you've watched any of my videos, you've seen this before. I put my spatulas down so that my jar does not roll around on me when I'm trying to put the label on. It makes it a lot easier. It just holds it still. And I take my label and we just get it centered on here. And my little spatulas hold it nice and still so it doesn't roll away from me, and that's very helpful. And there you go. So I'm going to get these all labeled up, and then we'll come back and put shrink bands on these. So when I sell any of my lotions or sugar scrubs or anything that comes in a jar, I always provide a little wooden scoop, and it just helps reduce contamination in there so you don't get any cross bacteria. There is, of course, the preservative in here, but this little scoop will be a great aid. You scoop out what you need, use it, you can rinse the scoop off and reuse it each time. It's a nice little device. So anyway, I sell a scoop with these, or I give a scoop when I sell these. So there it is. We'll come back with the shrink bands, and let me get the rest of these labeled up. All right, I'm about ready to shrink band these jars, and again, this is a 4-ounce jar, and I am using the 115 by 55, if you can see that. I think that's a millimeter. These shrink bands are from Wholesale Supplies Plus, and they have a little perforated edge on them. I don't know if you can pick that up or not. And I put the little perforated edge in the back here away from the label, and I do the solid side in the front. So when I put these over the jars, they're like this: perforation in the back, solid side in the front, and then I shrink band them. These bands also fit a 6-ounce jar really well, and you can squeeze them over an 8-ounce jar, although Wholesale Supplies Plus recommends you size up for an 8-ounce jar. But anyway, this is the size that I'm using. I get asked a lot. I hope you can see that. It's the 115 by 55. from Wholesale Supplies Plus. So I said it in the video, there it is. I'm going to get these banded up. And thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you try the recipe. And if you do, let me know how you like it. I just think this is wonderful. This recipe is so indulgent and it just feels so good. Your body will feel exfoliated and polished and moisturized. So I hope you give it a try. And if you do, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and have a wonderful day.